Hello there, my name is Bruce Rain from Brankus Creations. Thank you very much for joining me again, hopefully. Hopefully you're along for the ride. I have been working on a Macintosh SE 30 with some very, very bad battery damage, and it may become fairly clear based on the number of times I have streamed that I am getting a little bit obsessed with this. And I would very much like to test it. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, what do I want to do today? I want to get back out and work on that bloody SE 30. So I figured if I'm going to be out here doing it, I may as well stream it. So that's kind of where I am with that. Yes, it is 17. Hello, Enzo. You have said it is, I think it was you. Was it you, Enzo? Yeah, 17 degrees C and partly sunny in Sydney. So it's very interesting. The weather predictions were for torrential rain for both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. We were going to be getting, they said, about a month's worth of rainfall in 2 days. Yesterday it rained some. Obviously you would have heard the rain while I was live streaming, but not really torrential. It absolutely bucketed down last night just for a brief while. Just enough, so that all of our block gutters started overflowing and all that sort of stuff. And then today, which again, we were supposed to be getting something like 25 mils or something today. They're now saying likely to just get a bit of a sprinkle. So I have to say I'm pretty pleased. I never mind getting a little less rain than they were predicting, so that was quite nice. Quick little hello to folks. Apples Anonymous, Roger Jones, Thomas Armstrong, Joe Williams, Luke F, Enzo Fitzhume, House of Moth, Jay G'day. Jay, I hope you're pleased. I hope you're happy. I mean, that I'm doing all of this streaming. Yesterday was one of the first times this has ever happened. Yesterday, Jay, in our little group chat, he just said, "What time are you streaming, Bruce?" And I just replied with, because he always asks that. He asks that pretty much every day of the week. "What time are you streaming, Bruce?" And I was actually able to say, "I'll be streaming at 9 p.m. Eastern." And today I streamed before he even asked. So there you go. Hello to Jack68K, SadMac356, Patrick Pitts, hello. I'm currently in the middle of part 1. Well, yeah. Part 2 might be a struggle. That's 4 hours long, so just, yeah. Did I say hello to Thomas? I think I did, yes. Aolfrain? I'd love to know how to pronounce your name. Justin is here. Hi there, Justin. Mystery Margot, hello. And Chris Hawk, hello. And scrolling down. K-Mac Vintage, hello. Aoife. There we go. Now I know. Aoife. Will I remember? That's the question. You know how long it took me to remember equivalent series resistance? It took me several days. But I will try. I will do my best to remember Aoife. Okay, I'm doing my best. 0.775 volts. Hello there. Greetings from Connecticut. Hello there. Greetings from Sydney, Australia. I am in the western part of Sydney. There's a classic saying here in Sydney, and it says it takes an hour to get from Sydney to Sydney. And that's kind of true because it's a very, very big city. And so you can go from one part of Sydney to another part of Sydney and take you like an hour to get there. Is it soup yet? Soup? Hello, DJ Craze. Hello. And Chris F. Hello. Oh, look at that. He's got a little Teen Wolf avatar there for all of us who are old enough to remember Teen Wolf. I watched that movie quite recently, actually, and just the first one. And you know what I found funny about it? I know I enjoyed it a lot as a kid. I found it sort of kind of clunkily made. It wasn't very slick. It was like pretty poor editing, and it seemed really low budget. And of course, to be in the situation where you've got Michael J. Fox who's just come off, Back to the Future with big budget sort of, stuff. Or was Teen Wolf before Back to the Future? I don't know. I thought it was after, but who knows? Okay. Roger Jones, hello. Wildman Williams, Illinois, hello there. Waffy instead of waffle. Yeah, that's right. That was that took a long time. But I think I get it right most of the time now. I say waffy instead of waffle. At least I wasn't the one going around saying Lando's hair. John, no worries. We haven't actually started doing anything yet. I was just basically explaining how obsessed I've come with this. I've become with this, and so I just want to get it done. I want to be able to start testing it. So I figure we just get into it. We get cracking. So change across to the top view here. We have a look at sort of where things are at the moment. These two components here they're new ones that have been replaced. We've got lots and lots of trace repair going on here. I'm going to get right into the trace repair down here now. I've got one here, a little veer that I can see is completely dead, just above my fingernail there. That's the first thing I want to do today. I want to find out where that veer goes, because nobody knows where that veer goes. Oh, it goes to, it looks like it goes to this chap here. So we're going to have to run a wire through that hole there. We'll join it up here, and then we'll flip it over to the other side, and we'll ping it out to find out. Because if I know if I know one end of it, if I can find out where one end of it goes, I can figure out where the other end of it goes. That's generally the trick. Yeah, we'll do that. Central Connecticut. There you go, DJ Craves. It takes 2 hours to get from Melbourne to Melbourne, even more spread out. Yeah, see, Melbourne, because it's got the water in the middle like that, and so you've got it sort of around that sort of, like a horseshoe shaped city sort of thing. Yeah, it is. I know my sister lives in Melbourne, and where she lives, she has a very long drive to work. Right, so all right, let's get into it. So I'm going to change across to the scope view now, and let's hope that I can keep everything in focus for everyone. So this is where we kind of left off last night. This is where the battery on my microphone went. We had got to, I just looked at this and I went like 1, 2, like 3, 4, 5 busted traces that all need repair. Then I thought, look, let's start that another day. So this is the one here that I was referring to. This one here with the busted veer going all the way through there. So we follow this along here, and it goes to here. So it's almost definitely going to the processor direct slot. Now it's very hard to ping out the processor direct slot from here. Well, I suppose I could. How do I even figure out which one is which? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the processor direct slot. Because it's 3 rows, and I know, actually, here we go, there's numbers on the bottom here, aren't there? Yeah. So there's 1, then 40, and then, so that'd be what, 41 to 80, and then 81 to 120. It's nice that it's all even numbers like that. Great. So, yes, let's figure out where it goes. I just got to figure out how I'm going to get something pointy down there. Pointy birds. I have lost things. I had a little container. I wonder if the container's fallen down. That does happen. I had a container full of probes for my multimeter. And, oh, here it is. Found the container full of probes. We've got the really pointy, like that pointy one. Do you reckon that'll get in there? I think it will. That's good. That's perfect. That's wonderful. Sloopy Malibu, hello. I was wondering when you'd get here. Gosh, I was going to call out a search party. Okie dokie. Oops, my T key is acting up again. Oh dear, we don't like that. I haven't seen the first 2 videos. I was about to tell you there was a hair on the board and chair as well. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go do some pinging, shall we? Ping away. This is going to take for ages. All right. So we want from here. Let's just check. Good. All right. And he's going to this general vicinity. So there it is. Didn't take me long, did it? Okay, so that's 81. That's pin 82. So, oh, careful. Pin 82 of the processor direct slot. Once again, thank you to LMNO for his wonderful work on this. We are very, very happy that it exists. Glue and RAM, no. Couple of desktop bus, no. Video ROM, no. SCSI, Swim, no. SE30 serial interface and sound interface, no. Power connector pull-ups and pull-downs. I bet you this is what it is. I bet you it was meant to be that one. Oh, maybe it's at the front. Here we go. CPU and FPU. Is that it? ROM sim. Okay, let's have a look. J13. We might just have it here. J13. So 222. We're looking at pin 2. Sound of the crickets put me to sleep, yes. I was Retro Comp. Hello, I haven't spoken to you in ages. Rob T, hello there. Okay, so looking to see if I can find pin 2 of the processor direct slot on this, and I basically can't. It's not a part of this matrix. Oh, sorry, it's 82. Jeez, what's wrong with my brain? I know what's wrong with my brain. I've been doing this for too long. It's going to mush. 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82. Don't see 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82. So look, it's probably not essential for getting it working, to be honest. I do have a working board here, so we can do a little bit of fun and games with that. It is Swiss cheese. It's this one here, okay. So we'll just check and make sure that this isn't something super essential. 82. There to there. Just run it across the ROM sim to make sure. Okay. Does it go somewhere on the other side? I'm so used to things not going anywhere on the other side. The way this board works, just about everything of importance seems to be inside the board. Yep. Yeah. So. I should really be doing top view for this, shouldn't I? It's very boring to look at through the microscope. Oh, well, there was a spider, was there? Sorry about that. Yeah, there are lots of spiders here. We know that. No surprises to anyone. I bet you it goes to something like the glue chip or something like that on the other side. Just would expect it to come up somewhere. All right, so let's try the other side. Go from there. Let's try FPO. Nope. ROM. Nope. Oh. Okay, there we go. Comes up there. So he's got to come up its pin, that bottom right hand corner pin of the glue. Let's just check that now on the dead one. So he's going from there to there, and he's not there. All right, let's see if we can get that sorted. You know, part of me is kind of like, oh, don't even bother with this one because this is not going to impact us booting it. But at the same time, I also feel like, you know, I want to get it working. I want to get it working the way it should be working. Great. So let's now flip him over to the other side. We should be able to see that hole now. I should be able to identify it fairly readily because, yes, I have made a hole. Like that. There we go. To the 31 people that are watching at the moment, thank you very much. Thank you for your perseverance with this. I do hope you are enjoying the roller coaster that it is working on this computer. And it is my belief, just in case anyone's needing to work out their level of excitement, it is my belief that I will get this tested today. So, I'm actually not going to run a wire to that right now, because it's one that will have to drape over everything. Oh, hello, spider. It's going to have to drape over everything. And as I say, it's not essential. So at least I've marked it out. I know it needs doing. But we will move on to other things. So, we've got a whole bunch of traces to repair here. And these are all predominantly going to UI4 or to UJ4. So let's get them sorted. Let me just have a quick check up on the chat. Right. Right. Cool. Just checking. People just having conversations, which is great. So this one here is just your absolutely bog standard trace repair. I'll get UJ4 sorted, I think, because we'll start pinging out UJ4. There's obviously, it's very clear that we've got a break here, so we'll do that for UJ4. And then we'll do the normal process that I have been doing all the way along, where I get the multimeter out and I check and what not. It's a well-trodden path with this computer now. Oh, look, my hands are all wobbly today. This does happen to me sometimes. I wake up in the morning and my hands are a little bit wobbly first thing in the morning. So, and of course it gets accentuated by the microscope. You know, if you were just sitting there eating your breakfast, you wouldn't even notice it. But when you get under a microscope, you go, oh, my hands are wobbling. But, and they kind of tune in as I do more, especially my left hand. Good old left hand. Let's get some flux onto there. That will do us, I think. I don't see any need to, and this is a long way away from the via. If a via was close, I would run this wire all the way to the via, but it's not close to the via, so I won't. There we go. Now, I'm going to leave this a little bit of wire hanging out at this end here, because I'm actually going to stick that on the pin of the component and then cut it. It'll just make it that little bit stronger. A little bit stronger, which we want. Strong is good. All right. Time to do some pinging. So let's get back to our matrix. And this is our last one here. Top view. So I figured that while we're here doing this stuff and we've got all the people watching, and you know, just a reminder, please press the like button, and it's appreciated. It helps the algorithm. Just want to mention, oh hello spider. There's a spider on the microscope. Just something to chat about in the chat. Can people tell us what their very, very first computer was? No, the very first one they owned. Not necessarily the first they used, but the very first computer that they owned. What would that be? It's just something that I think it's always interesting to talk about with this sort of stuff, seeing it is a very much a vintage computer sort of channel. All right, time for some beeping. People may notice that I've been using my fluke during this. There are two reasons why I do that. One, it does respond slightly quicker on the continuity tests. So there's probably, it's only a fraction of a second difference, but the fluke does respond just slightly quicker. And when you're trying to find things and you're scanning all over going, it's handy to have that speed that, you know, costs an awful lot of money. The other is that the Kai Wheats would really like a new set of batteries, and I keep forgetting to bring a set down with me. So, okay, so what have we got? We have got, oh wow, that happened quick. I'll have to scroll up. Okay, we have got an Apple II Plus for Enzo. That is an awesome first computer, that's for sure. I have never even heard of a VIP Cosmic, Thomas. I don't know what it is. Timex Sinclair, that is awesome. The old Sinclair 1000 ZX81. I love those. I'd love to actually get hold of one. I'd love to have one of those in my collection, but they're going for silly money now too. A PC that I built. Okay, how about that? First, Power Mac G3 Blue and White 400 megahertz Mac OS 8.6. iMac G3 Blueberry for Duke the Cat. That's awesome. That's the tray loading. God, weren't the tray loading awful? I mean, collectible, yes, that's great. But the difference between the tray loading and the slot loading, just in terms of the slickness of the device, because it was such a clunky tray in those ones, you know, you just felt like you're going to breathe on that tray and break it. And of course, they put some of those iMacs in schools. Kids were just breaking the trays all the time. The slot loading didn't help because kids were just shoving stuff in the front of it because the kids just like to break things. Well, high school kids do anyway. TI 99 4A, Joe, you could have a good discussion with GT, Greg Thompson from Macintosh, because he's a big TI 99 fan. He's got a couple of those. 0.775 is a Mac SE 30. Well, okay, this would be a little bit of nostalgia for you. Dell Dimension from late 1999. Okay. VV Performer 575. That's awesome. So the 575 is one that was available as it was a 575. It was a Performer or an LC, wasn't it? I think it just depended on the software that was bundled with it, whether it was a Performer or a 575. And of course, that was one of the computers that came out during the brittle plastic era. So these are not good now. Amiga 500, awesome, Chris F. I actually have one of those. I plan to sell it though, because I don't use it. And I think it's just, you know, in this world of vintage collectible computers, there's probably someone out there that will get a lot more joy from it than I do. Patrick Pitts, some kind of Tandy 1000, cool. Because another thing that was interesting during that time, during that 80s micro era, there were a lot of companies out there that were just rebranding an existing computer out there. For example, my first computer was a VZ200. That was just a laser 200 that had this branding put on it by an Australian company. Atari 2600, that's a cool one. And Commodore Plus 4 there. And what else? Okay. I'd freak out if this board was sent in for repair back in the day. Yes, I think they would. Family computer was an Apple II Plus. Yes, our family computer ended up being an Apple IIe, and I have to say I very much like that. Tico branded Windows 95 Pentium 133. I think, can't remember much else about it. And EFA. Did I get EFA? Yeah. Socrates Education Console thing counts as a computer. Don't know it. More properly, a second-hand Apple IIe. Yep, cool. VIC-20, good old VIC-20. And Commodore 64, 8WT. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? Because the Commodore is keeping up with you. I would like to just say to the rest of the world, for Australia's contribution to computer advertising, that are you keeping up with the Commodore because the Commodore is keeping up with you? You're welcome. That was an Australian ad, and you're welcome. First was ZX Spectrum Plus 2, 8802 with 256 bytes. See, that's, I assume, relating to an earlier message there, Thomas. VIP Cosmic. Okay, there you go. That was what the VIP Cosmic was. 8088, around 1980. Wow. That's the... Isn't that one of the... Is that something like from the Alteri type era? That was... Because weren't they using the same CPU or something? I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Forget how you mispronounce Bondi. We'll circle back to that another time. Did you really just say iMac? Blueberry. Yeah, Blueberry. Well, how else would I say it? It's the jingle back in my head. You're welcome for that. You're welcome. Yeah. Anyhow, all right. Let's go back to this pinging. So we are pin 42. There's 40. There's 1. There's 2. So that's pin 42 of the ROM slot, and we need to be going to pin 2 of UJ4. So let's go to pin 2. We're good. So, and that one's also going to the CPU. I'm fairly confident about that. And then, so we've got 42, then we've got 43, and that is pins 10 and 13. 10, 13, good. And 44, and that is pins 11 and 14. 10, 11, okay, not getting anything 11 and 14, so that's going to be one of the trace repairs we have to do. So back onto the scope, but I can quite happily tick off 42, 43, and 44. So this is moving along like lightning. So that one was, what was it, pin... No, 11 and 14. I ticked one prematurely. 11 and 14. Oh, hang on, isn't that the one I just repaired? Did I just repair, did that one? Let's check again. 11 and 14, it goes to 44. 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. 44. And he goes to 9, 10, 11. Okay, all right. You see the problem we have here, don't you? What? We've got another break up here. I didn't see another break. Oh, it's there. It's there. It's right there. You see it? You see it? Oh, no, of course you don't, because you don't have scope view, because I'm an idiot. Scope view. I did try to click it. I just missed it. I repaired a trace. Yes, I did. But then if we zoom right in here... Oh. Get a bit lower. Lower, higher. So if we go along here to this one here, We travel along here. Broom, 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 broom. Broom, 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 broom. Broom, broom, broom. And then, look at it. That is a trace break. And I missed it. I didn't see it. Okay, let's make it so. SE30 question. Recapped now chime and booting, but have repeated slim vertical blank in desktop screen. Are there any docks and proper wave format? Okay, so if they're vertical, it's probably something related to the VRAM. Just the way they work, the way it works, because you've got horizontal lines and you've got vertical lines, and if you've got vertical lines, the chances are it's a problem related to the VRAM. So the first thing I would do, and look, it could be one of the U8 chips along there as well. But what I would start off doing is getting the old schematic and just pinging out the VRAM, all the pins of the VRAM, to see that they're going the right place. So they're the big chips. Oh yeah, they do fail sometimes too. I keep a few spares of these ones here. So these guys there. So I would be inclined to just check and make sure that those pins are going where they need to go. That's where I would start. Would be my recommendation. Scop view. All right, let's see if we can suck some solder out of this little hole here, so I can put a trace down it. I mean what do you call it? Piece of wire. There we go. Looking north. Drop a piece of wire down there. And just put it into these holes, just generally to make the join a little bit stronger. I don't always do it, but I do sometimes. It makes me feel like I'm doing a proper job. Oh, CS Waffy is here. We were just talking about you before, talking about how I was calling you CS Waffle for, wow, an indeterminate amount of time. It was a while, and you know, and I was just sort of pointing out how it really takes me a long time to do things sometimes. It was mainly because I was mispronouncing people's names and stuff, and we're just pointing out how I am not a fast learner when it comes to that stuff. Also pointing out how I managed to do a trace repair, but I didn't do it far enough. Because I got a certain distance and there was another trace break further up. So, being a silly goose is my thing today. Right, this should do it. This should be the extent of my repair, assuming I didn't just destroy the trace then. Yay! Alright, so let's try that again. So we're going from 44. That's 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 44. And we're going here to multimeter off. We're going here to there. Great. And there. Cool. So, I think that means I can actually put this on. And where does UI4 go? UI4, I've got to test that against the glue chip. Okay. And they've got to test it against the PDS slot. Okay, so that's this guy here. I can theoretically put this component on now, but I've still got trace repairs around here. But we've pinged out. Oh God, look at that. What a mess. My goodness, Rain. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Blueberry. That's how you say it. I don't know. I just don't see what the issue is. Blueberry. That's how you say it. This is something where I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say this, but there's an Australian YouTuber, PSIVERWI, PSIVER, something like that. Anyhow, I know how it's pronounced and what it's short for because I actually know what his name is, and it's an abbreviation of his name. So I'm going to prop this component on because it always makes me feel good when I do that. It gives me a little buzz. So let's go and plonk this on. Going to be also gentle. I'm just going to bend this pin up a little bit because he is sitting on a trace. Is that an Oz thing? I don't get it. Oh, my stomach just made an interesting noise then. It's probably objecting to the fact that I gave it some cold pizza for breakfast with pineapple on it. Do-do. Do-do-do-do. Yeah. So once we get all of these little mux chips sorted, I'm then going to give the board a little bit of a look and see if there's anything that looks like it needs attention. So let's get this one soldered down onto the pin. Whoopsie. There we go. Okay. I'm being very quiet because of the concentration. I think I should be needing a new blade soon. This one's getting a bit gross. Okay, so all these pin 1s should ping together. So we should go pin 1 here, to pin 1 here, ping, to pin 1 here, ping. And what about here? Ping, ping, ping. Okay, so all the pin 1s are pinging. Pingity ping ping. Steve is here. Hello there. Sorry, I didn't realise you were streaming. Well, I did. I put it into the group chat. So you've only got yourself to blame for not looking at the group chat. I know that group chat is full of some inane stuff at times, but we still expect you to read it. I missed Steve's stream. Steve streamed earlier today in... yes, I mean, it was earlier today, actually, even in Australian time, but it was like 1:30 in the morning here. And I went to bed because I was up watching some TV, and then I got sleepy, and so I went to bed. Because I'm very old, you know. The music these days is just too loud. I don't understand why young people don't wear hats anymore. That was one scungy pad. Okay, yep, it's definitely time for a new blad. Where's my box of blads? I didn't get to the end of your stream, Steve. I watched probably about the first 20 minutes of it. I don't think you actually did anything other than push and prod and poke at the board while going, oh God, oh God. Was there anything else that I missed? Because you were, I think you were starting to realise the extent of the task that lay ahead of you, as you saw those, all those green vias near the RAM chips. What are the two Sony chips for on the SE30 board? I was assuming they were sound chips, but the link you mentioned, the other chip to the right, was the sound chip. Different type. They're all sound chips. So those three, they're all associated with the sound. So there is, on the SE30 board, there are 3 sound chips. One is just a single chip. Don't ask me because I don't really understand it all. I can show you here on the schematic. And we might be able to make sense of it from the schematics. So, so you've got here, where are we? What is that? Sound interface. Here we go. So what we have here is we have these 2 sound chips here, Sony Sound, UB11, UB10. And then they go across to this one here, which is UE10. And they call that DSC, digital signal something, I don't know. But so they are both related to the sound. So you've got this chip here, which is the UE10, and then it goes across here into these 2 sound chips there. And then of course it goes out into, I think that's an amplifier there, which will then take it out to the speaker. Yeah, so those 3 chips there, and that's why. And it is labelled on the board as sound, so they're all labelled as sound. Well, that one just says Sony and Sony. So they're the 2 sound chips. And then you've got this chappy here, that's sound chip. And this one here, I think actually might say, what does it say? ASC, something like that. So that explains the complication of it all. Isn't it complicated? Yes. Right, so we've got another chip on here. That's great. I'm feeling good about it. What we have to do now is we have to ping out this guy because we know... Oh, no, did it again. Quadra 650 looks fun. Yes, indeed it does. Look, you might get lucky. Some of those green vias might still be intact. Just need to clean them up, but, anything is possible. All right, so this here is UI4, and we're going to ping him out. And the first one, he is on pin 45 of the ROM. So, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he needs to be going to pin 3 of this one here. So, 1, 2, 3. And it's 3 and 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's deader than something dead. So let's go here to pin 3. There it is. It's the second one here, and we can clearly see a trace break there. You can see it there. So let's now see if that goes to here. 21, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, oh Jesus, 41, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, great. So we know that that one is there. It's all good. So all we have to do is just fix up the clearly visible broken bit here. This guy. So anyhow, obviously, just folks, there's that live stream. Oh God, I tell you something else. When you get a chance, if you haven't already seen it, you've got to check out Dan, the Canadian Computer Collector's latest video of him doing ASMR computer stuff. I have not laughed so hard in a long time. I was laughing my head off watching him do his vintage computer ASMR. It was one funny video. I must actually leave a comment. I was watching it on the TV, so I couldn't even like it, but I will like it and leave a comment because I just thought it was so funny. So don't watch it now, obviously, but when you get a chance, check it out because it's funny shit. PyStorm. Someone talked to me about that once. Isn't it some sort of CPU emulator or something? I must confess that while I love all of the emulators that are around and available, I much prefer using the real thing. I was actually thinking the other day, wouldn't it be awesome, you know, you imagine, okay, we've got all these emulators and stuff out there that are pretending to be other computers. Wouldn't it be cool if someone could get a Raspberry Pi to emulate a 68040 CPU? So imagine what you did was you built an accelerator card for the PDS slot of a Mac, and rather than having that accelerator being a 68040 CPU, you have it being a Raspberry Pi pretending to be a 68040 CPU. I don't even know if that's technically possible, but I want it. I want it. Right, let's check that one now. 40. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 45. Across now to 3. Beep. 4, 5, 6. Beep. That's good. That's good. That's very good. So that is all of the address lines from the ROM. Now, we've still got other stuff to do here, but we're going to keep going. So pins 2 and 5, that goes to pin 28 of the PDS slot. So 28. So we go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So pin 28 of the PDS slot should be going to pins 2 and 5 of this chop here. 2 and 5. Yay! How good is that? It's much good. Okay, so that one's good. Let me just get the thing with the thing on the thing. And then pins 10 and 13 should be going to pin 56 of the glue chip. So I didn't test the glue on that other one, did I? So the glue is that way. That's UI8, that way. So we're saying, I really should have done that, shouldn't I? 58. I'll test that now, pins 3 and 6 of that one. 58 is, 54 is here. 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. So 58 should be going to, yay! And then this one is going to be 56, 76, 56, and this should be going to pins 10 and 3. Not so good. Not so good. Oh no, it's this one. Yeah, okay, it is good. 10 and 13. 11, 12, 13. Nice, nicely done, nicely done. And then 40. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Hey, what? 40. I'm going the wrong way. Just calm down, calm down. 53, 52, 51, 50, 49, 48, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40. 40. Down to 11. We got a break. We got a break. It's probably this broken one. No, no. Check. I'll just check it again. So this is 11 and 14. So that's 10, 11. That's one of the ones that goes through here. I dare say. That one's been repaired. Is it this one? 11. 11. Let's just check the board that works, because we're getting into the rhythm of doing this to make sure before we start chasing something down that it is definitely correct amundo. So that is 11. 11, and we should be getting, there it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So it's the 8th one up. Let's check that again. No, whoopsie. And whoopsie. Definitely not pinging air. So let's see if we can find out which wire goes where and under whose instructions. Okay, that's good. We go to there. We're going to check from there to there. Nope. Where are they going? Where are these wires going? Going up underneath. It's not that one, it's not that one. Are they going straight through? I don't know. Where's it going, people? What's it look like under this? They must know. That one. Was it? Hang on. I've lost my page. 11 and 14. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, okay, it's there. Oh, it's there. Okay, this has gone to sleep, sorry. There to there. So it's this hole here, and he should be going up there. So where's the problem? So that, we're broken here somewhere. A hole there, up to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's this one here. I'm very confused. Very confused. So this one almost definitely goes to another hole somewhere. Somewhere on the board. So we're going to have to find that. We'll do it with a good one. Cam Wind, hello there. And LMNO, hello again. Glutton for punishment. I don't know why, but I was just saying at the beginning of this, I have become just a tiny bit obsessed. So this is one of these vias that pops down and then pops up again somewhere. And we just have to find out where it pops up again. It'll probably pop up again somewhere around here where all the damage is. This will probably be easier to find it on the other side of the board. So, first thing we'll do is locate where this is on the other side of the board. Whoa. Okay, found it. It's this one here, second one down. That guy there. So what I now have to do is find out where that guy pops up. So this is not the best method for doing this, but it is the only method I have. So probably going to pop up, well, I keep thinking it'll be around here somewhere because this is where all the damage is. So if we're LMNO, I was looking at the okay. So what does that look like here? It's under. Oh, yeah. There's some gronkiness over there. So it was this one, wasn't it? Hang on, it was. Lost it again. Yeah. Okay. So that's. Let's have a look. C57. little thing of 4. Geez, they're not too bad there, to be honest. See, where I see a lot of ugliness is around this region here. Definitely the possibility of bad traces or bad veers around here. I made a little brush out of wire and crimp connector. I can slip over a probe to help pathfinding. We'll send you a picture. I've seen one of these. Surely someone makes one. I mean, yes, I could just get a really big thick piece of wire and I guess fan it out. It's probably the best thing to do. If I just get a really big thick copper wire and then just strip the end off it and then fan that wire out, it'll probably work as a brush. I might do that today, see if I can find some, see what the fattest wire they have where I'm going today is. Right, I'm going to need to mark this crap out because I keep forgetting where it is. Ugh. But yeah, I think it was, what's his name, Adrian's Digital Basement or something. Someone sent him a brush to use as a probe. And I looked and I thought, I want to buy that. I can't find them anywhere for sale, so I don't know where they come from. One of the methods that I have used, I think I mentioned this yesterday, is I get a bit of steel wool and I attach it to a little clip probe thingy, and then you just blob, 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 blob over the board, and that allows you to at least get an area. Excuse me. Joe's stream is done. Oh, it's Joe streaming. Sorry, Joe. I've probably streamed over everyone this week because I've streamed pretty much every day. So my apologies to everyone who I've streamed over. To all those I streamed over before. Right. Let's just make sure. I want to mark out these things. Ah, there's the picture. That is cool. I do like that. I am going to definitely make something similar. So yes, thank you for that. Right. I've got this one. It's the bottom one. So let's mark that out. It's this guy here. Okay, so we've got that point there, and we're going to have to join him somewhere, and we'll do the same on this one. That one is C60 up there. It's that one. So from there, and we'll mark it out. But it's been discontinued a long time. What a shame. Yeah, okay, well, I'm going to try and make something similar. So, yeah. Good thing we don't care about any other streams. Going to have to leave. I have an early day tomorrow. Good luck with the repairs. Thank you very much. Aoife? Good. Thank you very much, Aoife. See? It'll get in eventually. Eventually it will get in. But thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it. And thanks for letting me know how to pronounce your name properly because, you know, I just make an absolute fool out of myself. Otherwise, okay, so we're going to get back to this and we are going to find okay, so it's the one directly below and to the right of C63. So I'm going to do that. Here we go. Below and to the right, a C63. C63. So it's this one there. Yeah, now that does look kind of grotty, doesn't it? Yeah, look at that. It's got some chunky stuff inside it. Right, so let's go and have a little spin it over onto the other side and we'll see what the condition of it is there. Yeah, that's right in the danger zone. I went to the danger zone. I bet you it's this guy. Do you reckon it might be this guy? Be one of these. Got some work to do up here as well too, don't we? Ron, hello there, Ron. Haven't spoken to you in ages. Retro Techie, hello. Only one more camera. Yes, different angle of the mic. You know, I've got this extra camera here, and I can't really think of anything to do with it. If I can find a practical way of getting another camera, because I've got this spare camera here, if I can find a practical way of mounting this camera so that it does actually give some better view, I will, but can't think of anything. You know, I could sort of use it like this. I need to focus it. Focus. Use manual focus. There we go. So manual focus feels a lot like it's not manually focusing, doesn't it? Let's see what happens when I do this. This, and then we'll go advanced, and we'll go focus auto. There we go. So if I really could actually find something to do with this that's going to be of some sort of practical use, you know, maybe I mount it on the side of the microscope so we have a slightly less zoomed in version or something. I don't know. I just can't see a reason to use this at all. So we have it, and if I think of something, I'll do something with it. But okie dokie. Let's just close that. Hands are sticky, all fluxy. Right, now I'm going to need to get the good board, and I'm going to need to find this on the other side so we can find out which one it is. So here is my good board, my working board, my happy board. And I'll get my multimeter probes, and we'll go from this one. There we go. There. Somewhere up here. Yep, it's that shitty looking one. It goes to there as well. So it goes there to there, and then from there it comes up, I think, there, or there it comes up here. So there, through to the other side of the board, comes up there, then goes through to there. There's a bear in there, and a chair as well. Open wide, come inside. It's play school. Pew, pew, pew. Meow, meow, meow. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I need to make a hole here. let's first of all hit it with some heat and some solder and see if we can actually melt some solder from inside that, or whether it is just one corroded lump of yuckiness. Hello, little spider. Little spider keeping me company here. No. That is just corroded gunk in that. Oh, it smells too. Come on, Wick. There we are. All right, so we're going to have to use brute force, which can sometimes be very bad. You're actually starting to annoy me now, dude. Can I put you over here? Oh, no, he's on the floor now. Let's get my little hammer. Yeah, it's my little hammer. I need to try and force a hole through here. Without leaving the thing that I'm using to make the hole in there. It's play school. Boo, boo, boo. Ah, need my fancy glasses, because I can't see with these glasses up close, because I'm old. I'm an old person with old person's ways. See my bald head? It's cool, isn't it? Beep, 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 beep. I think it's Dremel time, my folks. This is always fun. It's nice and noisy. I'll just get the right fitting for it. Have I done my fly up? A few times I've come down here to do a live stream, then I've gone back up and realised I've had my fly undone the whole time. Not good, not good. Right, so this is the fitting I need. What I basically do here is I end up using a needle, sewing needle, as a drill bit. And this looks like oil's coming out of it. That's a good or a bad thing. It's very oily. Now, I won't be able to probably camera this at the moment. Can't pick this up now because of the oily fingers. And you guys maybe would prefer that I turn the sound off while I do this as well. Just mute for a bit, because it does make quite a racket. Okay, so I'm going to mute just for a sec while I drill. Welcome back. So what I have done now is I have made myself a wee hole. God, that one doesn't look too crash out either, does it? Made myself a wee hole somewhere it's meant to be. There it is. There. right there. Oh, no scope view. Scope view, please. Scope view, please. Everyone who's experienced a root canal is thanking you for the mute. Yes, no one likes it. Jeff Bernard, hello. Tassie Bob, Gut Bomb, Joe. Confusing your OnlyFans with YouTube. Right, so I have got to re-establish a connection from one of these locations, really. It doesn't actually have to be from here. Back down to here. So I've got to get from here to here. From there to there. So we're going to have to run a wire. It's going to be interesting. Come on. There we go. Yeah. It's got to be done. I don't see any other way around it. Can't really anchor it at this end because there's no metal there, so I've got nothing to solder it to. I have to solder it on the other side. This one here will go through this hole here, which we are now going to make. I remember getting fillings as a kid, and yes, I have no real recollections of a great deal of discomfort at the dentist, other than, you know, if they're pulling a tooth. I had some teeth pulled when I got braces, and that was fairly uncomfortable. But I did get some fillings on my baby teeth when I was a child. Those teeth have all fallen out since then because they're my baby teeth. But I don't remember any of them being that painful. I've lost my wick. Yeah, shoulder wick. There it is. Here's some. Always keep plenty. But nonetheless, I do understand why people don't like the sound of the drill. I have no fillings, but I have weak gums. That's no good. I have no fillings. I believe my gums are okay. I fainted last time I went to the dentist. Good grief. It's not good. Right, so this one I think we can go just pretty much in a straight line. I don't really see much point in ziggy-zagging all over the joint. Do. And then through we go to the other side. I'm not going to, I won't do it, I promise. I won't break into the bloody Doors song again. I do it every time. And I'm not going to do it this time, promise. So we've got a double whammy here. I virtually need this wire to go in two directions. Do I use the same piece of wire or do I get a second piece of wire? I could probably... Maybe. I'm really worried. I'll tell you what I do. This is what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. You watch me. It's going to happen. Songs will be written about it. I did it. Someone did it. It wasn't me this time. Okay, then this is going to look pretty ugly. I'm going to double this wire back on itself. And come across to this side. Here we go. Okay. Now I will leave that. I'll leave this with a bit of wire up the top because I will use that to attach to the pin when I put the new component there. Now, this is an LS30 that I don't actually have. I don't think I have any LS30s. I mean, it's possible because I do just accumulate shit, but I don't think I have any LS30s. But I, for the purpose of testing, I will just steal it off another board because I want to get this tested. So we've got a repair that we need to do here. So, okay, what I really should do is I just did a trace repair. I need to test it, don't I? So let's test it. Get the pingy thing again. And this one we are going from. Oh, I should just put this down a little bit. Just a little bit. Great stuff. 1986 Little Shop of Horrors. That film has to have some of the best animatronics in it ever. If you haven't had a chance to watch it in a while, I mean, I like aspects of the film, but it is a musical, and I freaking hate musicals. Yeah, the animatronics of the plant are just amazing. So we want to go from there to, oops. Okay, hang on, where is it? It's from, I need my scopey scope there. That pin there through to there. Good, good. And then it should be through to here as well. Yay! So we've re-established that up to the glue chip. So let's have a little look at our matrix very quickly, and we can mark that off. So that is, we've done pins 10 and 13, and just a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so okay, so we've done that there. and we've done that there. So that is all of these MUX chips. That's UJ2, UI2, UI3, UJ3, UJ4, UI4. That's all of them we now know are all connecting. So that's great. And that's in that massive, yucky danger zone. We do have some of these going from the glue to the CPU and PDS slot, but I doubt whether these go anywhere near where all that trace damage is. I just think it's highly unlikely, because you're talking about something going from here to here. So, and we might have something going wrong to the PDS slot, but I'm going to make the PDS slot sort of a secondary thing, really. So I guess what we'll do now is we'll have a look at some obvious problems on the board that, let's do the rest of the data lines. So we'll do the rest of the data lines there. Here's some boards that were previous. Ryan, hello. Thank you for asking a question. How likely do you think it is for boards that were previously damaged by the leaking batteries or capacitor to die in the future, for example, if the acid keeps eating in the layers between them? Okay, so a couple of interesting things. First of all, it's an alkaline, not an acid. So just letting you know that. I know that everyone says battery acid, but it's actually battery alkaline. But alkaline is extremely corrosive as well as acid. So, and the other thing is they do need to be cleaned, absolutely need to be cleaned. If you clean them properly and you get all of that gunk off, then you're unlikely to see any continued corrosion. But if they're not cleaned properly and that stuff does stay on the board, then yes, it is going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. So we were talking about this yesterday. If you don't have access to an ultrasonic cleaner to do a really good proper clean on the board, you can use isopropyl alcohol, or you can use demineralized or distilled water. You can even create a bath, with maybe with a little bit of detergent. Just because distilled water is so freaking cheap. Just buy a tub, like one of those storage tubs or something like that, a plastic container. It's big enough for the board to sit in. Put it in, fill it up with some distilled water, give it a really good clean with a toothbrush while it's under there, and then rinse it off with some clean distilled water, and then let it dry. Good way of getting a lot of that stuff off. So don't use the dishwasher. Yes, a lot of people use the dishwasher, but I generally steer clear of that, because when you use the dishwasher, you are using tap water, and tap water has sulfites in it, and if you don't get them properly off, if you're going to do the dishwasher, I would suggest you would rinse it with distilled water afterwards. Failcore, thank you very much. There is a big old $20 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you to you. Much appreciated. So you can spend a little bit of time there on the screen. Does baking soda help? I don't know. I've never used it. I mean, baking soda is great for tenderizing meat, but do I have a recommended board wash? Well, see, I actually use stuff, but I buy it from a local company. So, when it comes to ultrasonic clean, the stuff that I use, it goes into the ultrasonic cleaner, and specifically designed for cleaning PCBs. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so we're doing the data lines. We're going to do the data lines. We did them before. We didn't have any problems with them whatsoever. So we are going to do them, we'll do the rest of them. So we're going from pin 47 on the ROM. And we're basically just going from here to here. So let's go here. I think it's easier to do it this way. So we're 47, there's 41, well that's 50. 50, 49, 48, 47, there's 47. And he should be going to pin 3 of S1B. So that's, I can't remember the S1B. Okay, there we go. There. Okay, so that's there, and then we will go, the next one across will be pin 6, 3, 4, 5, there's pin 6. Yep. And then pin 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And then pin 13, 11, 12, 13. Yep. and then 16, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 20, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. And 23, 21, 2, 3. Yes. And then 25, 23, 24, 25. Great. So that's what we've managed to just ping all those, and they're all looking good on the data lines. So I realise that this stuff is a little bit dull, but it does need to be done. Rudy is here. Hello there, Rudy. Okay. GT is here. Hello there. I was talking about you before because we had someone who was saying a TI-99 was their first computer, and I thought you could chat to GT about that. It would be interesting to compare different ways to clean the boards. Maybe a video idea. Yeah, I mean maybe. Of course, I guess what you'd want to do is you'd want to get a board covered in baked on stuff, and then just try a whole series of different cleaning methods. So 55, we want to go to 55, so there's 50. I'm going to do it this way. 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 55, and then we should be pin 3 here, I think. Yep, there's good. Okay, then we go to 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. And then 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. And then 13, 11, 12, 13. And beep. And then 16, 14, 15, 16. Yay. And then 20, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Beep. And then 23, 21, 2, 3. And then 25, 24, 25. Look at that. Okay, so that is all of the data lines all pinging out from the ROM slot, so that's great. Right, so what we have done here is pretty much checked every single pin from the ROM slot. So let's just go here and we'll just check which ones we haven't done, because there are some that aren't related to the address lines and data lines. So we have done, okay, pin 1 is going to 5 volts, so that's easy enough to check. So we will just check that now, because 5 volts is almost, well, 5 volts is all over the place. So we'll just, okay, just pop that out of the way. Thanks again, Falcor, very much appreciated. Ouch. Right, pin 1. And I imagine we've got 5 volts on this thingy at the front here. So 5 volts. Yep. There's 5 volts. This is the kind of like with the JTAG connector. It's like a diagnostic connector. J14. There we go. So we've got 5 volts there. So that's all fine and dandy. Of course, you could always test that in here as well. I don't know which one. There it is. There's 5 volt. So that's all good. So we've got pin 1 is working. Pin 2 and 3 aren't used. We've gone through and we have tested pin 4 through to 9. Pin 10 goes to pin 64 and goes to ground. So pin 10. Pin 10. Ground, unless there's ground somewhere else. Come on, come on. It says pin 10 and pin 64 are supposed to get. What? Pin 10, 30, and 64. So it's saying here pin 10, 30, and 64 are all the same. Oh, that's 10, yeah, 10. 20, 30. Okay, 30. 64. I was on the wrong one. I was on 20. And yeah, that's ground. Okay, so that's good. So we've done pin 10. We did 11 and 12 yesterday. That was the one that we had to do a little, it goes to the glue chip. So we had to do a trace repair for that one. So that was it's pins 11 and 12. They're both the same. Then we've got pins 14 through to 29, part of the data lines. 30 we just tested then. Then pin 46 goes to 5 volts as well. 10, 20, 30, 41, well, that's 45, that's 46. Yep, good, we're at 5 volts. And then, what did we do? The address lines were 31. Address lines were 31 down to 45. We did that. Hang on. Address lines. Yep, that's cool. That's the ROM pins. 45, then 46 we just tested. Then the data lines, 47 to 62. Yep, we did that. 63, what's 63? 63 was 5 volts as well, so let's just check that. Yep. So what we have now is we have successfully reconnected every single pin to this ROM slot. Now, is it fixed? No, it's not. We're still far from it. Well, we're still a bit of a way, but that is a big step, a very big step. So what we're going to do now is just have a quick look around here at any really noticeable broken traces. For my first test, I won't be putting the floating point unit on. This will run without the floating point on. I've been told that by people, and I hope they're not lying. I think it might have been Joe told me that. And I believe Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. And then, so we'll look for any other sort of just really noticeable busted traces. Got to put some caps on this because I do want to be able to hear stuff. And if you don't have the caps on there, you won't get sound. The computer can start, but you won't get sound. But I do want to be able to hear things. And then, of course, we need to put these components on here. And we're going to steal them from a working SE30 board just for now. But we are getting dangerously close to being able to test this out. But let's just have a little wander around the board now, shall we? Just to see if we can see anything that looks really, really bad. So, that one there really doesn't look like it would have been too bad, but anyhow. Oh, microscope view, scope view, scope view. Yeah, dear. There's silly stuff going on in the chat there. So, just going to clean up around here a bit. There's my tummy again. Incidentally, if anyone is in the market for an ultrasonic cleaner and wants to get a hold of one, we're talking a lot about cleaning boards here, and you might be thinking, hey, maybe I should get an ultrasonic cleaner. You will find links in the description to the cleaner that you can see behind me here, which is the VVOR 30 litre ultrasonic cleaner. Now, you might say, I don't need a 30-litre cleaner. That's fine. You don't have to buy a 30-litre cleaner. But you will find on the link, with the links there, that will take you to the ultrasonic cleaner page where you can decide if you want a smaller one, you know, like a 22 or a 15-litre or a 10-litre or whatever the case may be. So yeah, just letting you know, if you are in the market, that information is there. Links in the description to the Vevor cleaner, which then also takes you to other cleaners, other Vevor cleaners, other size Vevor cleaners. I have 2 Vevor cleaners, and the main reason why I accepted to do a review of this one is because I was so happy with this one. The 10-litre one that I've got, which I bought in 2016, has been absolutely brilliant, and this thing gets worked hard. And so I had no hesitation when I was talking to Vevor to say, look, guys, I am happy to give this one a review because I'm so happy with your other one. Okay, so RP4, there doesn't appear to be any damage traces there, so we're going to just steal it from this board here. It's awful, isn't it, taking stuff from a good board? But, you know, we want to see this working. I mean, 3 parts to this video. It's been going for hours and hours and hours. Oh, they're my clippers. Lost them ages ago. Found them. I want a victory with this one. I really do. I really want this to work. I don't know if it will, but I really want it to. Really, really want it to. Yeah, so I use a little toaster oven for drying the boards that I clean in. So my cleaning process, which you will find in, I think, one or some of my ultrasonic cleaner videos, I do talk about the cleaning process that I go through when I'm cleaning boards. And these are all the same, so I can actually just I'll take whichever one. Take the one furthest away from the ROM slot. So yeah, and I basically clean them in the ultrasonic cleaner first. I usually give them about 15 minutes aside. If they're really bad, I might go up to 25 or 30 minutes. And then I take them out. I rinse them in an isopropyl alcohol bath. I have a container over here, a big container full of isopropyl alcohol. Well, not full, it's about that full. And I put the board in, I swizzle around to rinse all the detergent off and whatnot. And then I put the I then just shake the excess alcohol off the board, and then I drop it into I've got a little toaster oven here, and that's permanently set on about sort of 60 something degrees C. And just drop the board in there and wait for it to dry. Some boards can, like if you're putting a modern board in, like a MacBook Pro or something like that, they can actually withstand much greater temperature. But these vintage ones, the plastics on them aren't as good, and things like the little reset buttons on the side of an SE or an SE30 or a Mac Plus, those little reset buttons, they melt at quite a low temperature. So be warned. But as I say, I do go through that process in, I think I mentioned it in my main recapping video, my guide to recapping, which I probably need to redo these days. It's getting a bit long in the tooth. You know, when you do videos and, you know, like you might have successful ones, like say my beginner's guide to soldering video, which had over 1 million views, I look at that now and I think, oh God, I could do that so much better now if I was to do it again. But you don't really get to. YouTube doesn't allow you to go in and update a video and keep the same link or anything like that. You've got to post a new video. And then the next thing you know, you've got 2 different guides to soldering. You see, it's like I've got 2 DIY ultrasonic cleaner videos. I've got the one where I built the one that used to be here, and I've got the one where I built the laundry sink. And people watch the one the first one all the time, and they go, oh, you should try this and you should try that. And of course, I just get into the comments and say, look, check out my second build, because you'll see I resolved all of the problems I had with the first build. But that's just how it goes. So, I'm too cheap to buy an ultrasonic cleaner. Rudy. Okay, so let's just continue having a look here. Just having a look around. Look up, and look down. We've got a, we're going to have to stick a real-time clock chip in here. Just going to get some solder on these exposed bits of copper. Because when I put the real-time clock chip on it, I don't want to have to take it off again. There we go. So one of the things Vevor does is Vevor basically take certain products, they then put their brand name on them and then resell them, and there are a whole bunch of them, and they sell some really unusual stuff. Now, I can't speak for the quality of all of those products. I have reviewed so far 2 Vevor products. I've reviewed this ultrasonic cleaner, and I've reviewed the microscope, and the reviews that I give are honest. I don't make anything up. And I do point out the flaws. For instance, this microscope, there are flaws. I'm actually using my M-scope head because it's a trinocular one, so I can connect the camera. I can't connect the camera to the Vevor one, but the optics on the Vevor one are spectacular. They are really good. I've got no hesitation in recommending the optics of that microscope. The only issue I have with this is the focus. That's it. But yeah, so there are a couple of things with Vevor. I mean, number one, they are a brand name. They have an online store where you can buy their products. You know, they have a returns policy, that sort of stuff. So, you know, you're not just buying it from a no-name, you know. If they are putting their name on it, they are, you know, providing you a certain level of, you know, sort of, like, they're not going to just put their brand name on something that's going to break in a week. So, but anyhow, as I say, I can't speak for all of their products. They have some very, very many and varied products, but I can speak for the ones that I have tested so far, and I have had no issue with them. So now we don't need to worry about things like the diode here. So let's have a look here, see how that's all looking. That's not looking too bad. Do we repaired that? Just going to go through here and see if there are any broken traces here. As I'm not going to put this on, just going to check to see if there are any broken traces. I don't see anything that looks too bad. We know there's a busted one here. So let's put that component on now and we'll attach a new trace to it. So that looks all good. So that's another one we're taking off the board here. We're going to raid this board once again for an LS30. You know, I've probably got an LS30 on a dead board somewhere. Let's just see. I'll have a quick look because there are LSs on everything. It's just a question of whether the LSs you want. See, maybe there's one on a 2SI. I'll have a look. LS395. Be good if I had a donor SC30 board, but I repair all the ones that I get. Stuff it. I can wander around looking for spare parts another time. I'll just pinch them off this good board for the now. I'm gonna have to buy them anyway, I suppose. I would actually love to do another drinking live stream. I've done a couple. They're fun. I enjoy doing them. But the problem is that I don't like to drink in the middle of the day, so I have to do them at night, which of course means that I'm a little bit out of sync with a lot of my viewers, because a lot of my viewers will be asleep at the time that I'm starting to drink. And I could do it for the Australian ones, but I did do a slightly inebriated stream a little while ago. There we go. I had been out, can't remember where I was. I went out somewhere, and I came back and thought, yeah, let's stream. I've got solder on the underside of this. I want it to sit flat, so I'm going to have to clean it. I was hoping I wouldn't need to, but I do need to. But I can tell you that, I mean, it is Sunday here, so, you know, and it is after lunchtime, so, you know, I mean, if there was a game on or something like that. But at the moment, it's winter sports time, and I'm not really much of a winter sports person. I'm more of a summer sports person. I do occasionally watch a little bit of NRL. I don't watch any AFL. These are games that people from outside of Australia will have no idea what I'm talking about. NRL is rugby league. AFL is Aussie rules. Aussie rules football, they call it. Which is confusing as hell. I will say this, some people may disagree with me, but I will say that AFL is generally a sport followed more by Victorians and South Australians than it is by New South Welshmen. As I say, some people will disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I do have some friends that follow AFL, but most of the people I know, they follow NRL in New South Wales. It was funny. Yes, I know I definitely had a good time when I did the slightly inebriated stream. I didn't do anything particularly offensive. I'm not a really outrageous sort of drinker. I'm not someone that goes, I don't completely lose control. I'm a fairly, let's call it a refined drinker. How about that? Any sport with balls is not worth. Yeah, I watch cricket, and I'm not going to try and talk people into watching cricket. You either like it or you don't. Trying to explain to someone, it's like, hey, yeah, watch some cricket. It's really exciting. It's like, well, that's really not what it is. It's more of a kind of a calming sport. I think it's a nice sport to have going in the background. That's what I would sort of say about cricket. Ball bearings count, absolutely. All right, so we need to get this little guy. Let's do this way first. Get some flux on here. And we'll get some solder on the iron. Put it this way, let me describe to you what cricket is like. It's the excitement we're feeling right now while we're doing this. We know we're getting closer to to testing it. So there's a level of excitement, but it's something that's been going on now for several hours. It's not really hyped up excitement, it's just moderate excitement. And that's what I think cricket's like. Moderate excitement. Oh, you little thing with things on your stuff with the, and that. Second pair of tweezers, please. There we are. Out of camera. Crickets again. Were they crickets? I didn't notice. I just becomes totally oblivious to the sound. There weren't any crickets yesterday because it was raining, but it's dry today. Actually, oh, I can actually see some blue sky. Well, that's nice. It's a bonus. How are we doing for time? 12:30. Cool. Because I do have a time limitation today. I need to get to a store at a particular time because they shut at 3. So I have to be well and truly out of here before then. But I have made some promises here that we will be testing this. So we got to get moving, don't we? I'll say we know. RP7. What's the name of that thing that's like WD-40? Was that RP7? RP something or other. I don't like cricket. What was that? Was that band? Was that 10cc? I think that did that song. I think that's what's popping into my head. 10cc, I'm pretty sure did that sound. That's called Dreadlock Holiday is the name of the song. The I Don't Like Cricket song. Yeah, I don't mind watching a little bit of snooker from time to time. I don't actively seek it out, but I don't mind watching it. You walk through the storm. Oh, God, no, I'm not going to sing. No, I'm not going to sing. I am going to raid some of my other Macs to see if I can find some of these parts on some of my donor boards, because you never know. I might be able to save myself from buying some of them. And I probably should have a lot of these sorts of parts on hand. This is a Bourne's resistor. The interesting thing about a Bourne's resistor is that sometimes they end up kind of waking up and can't remember who they are. but then they have these amazing fighting skills. That's one of the things about Bourne's resistors. Okay, so we've now got RP8, RP9. Let's do those. Let's just check closely because I'm going to be putting these over top of a whole bunch of traces here. I want to make sure that I'm not covering up breaks. Oh yeah, I've burned myself with solder wick many times, I can tell you. Something's going beep. Something's going big loud beep. Beep, beep, beep. I wonder what it is. Silencio. I hate the telephone. Beeping's getting louder. Great. This is feeling good. It's feeling very out of focus though. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, people. Sorry. So we've got RP8 and RP9. Are they both the same? Let's have a look. See. I think they'll probably be 220. Oh, no, they're 102. They look different. They're both 102. No, it's 201. That's 102. Okay. Same numbers in a different order. That does make them different. These orange packages always go brown when you hit them with a hot air. But, you know, what choice do you have? Just got to get the solder off the bottom of this. I do have a little holder for holding the chips so they don't wobble around, but for this, I'm not caring enough to do that. Just got to get them flat and just make the bottom of these pins flat so that they'll it just makes soldering of them easier. But of course we have to recap this too, you know. It's got no caps on it. We need caps. It'll just be like a normal recapping video soon. That was RP9, wasn't it? Yes. No, RP8, sorry. But we are getting close. Now I expect everyone here are going to stick around long enough for me to test this, because I can't imagine anyone will want to take off before I test it. It'll just be like, no, you'll end up walking away with no closure And so I will try and get this done as quickly as possible in order for you to get your closure. Now, of course, it goes without saying that the chances of this working first go are pretty darn slim. I would say there's probably going to be a part 4, and part 4 will be trying to, you know, diagnose things that aren't working. That would be my guess. I suspect that the first thing we will see, if things have gone reasonably well, I think we'll probably see CMAC, which, you know, that's still something. There's a lot of things working when you see CMAC. It just means it's not accessing the ROMs. Actually, can mean all sorts of things, but it's the kind of test pattern of the VRAM when you get that CMAC, and so it sort of means it's just outputting its kind of default, and you get a different pattern depending on whether you have NEC or the other VRAM chips. I don't think these ones are NEC. I'm singing that song now. Got Ron to thank for that. And this is the 201G. I can't remember. It's like 201 is like, it's going to be like 20 ohms or something like that. I can't remember. Don't ask me to remember. But I am hopeful I will be able to buy replacements for all of these. Next time I do a DigiKey purchase, because when I buy stuff from DigiKey, I usually buy quite a lot of things at once, so I get over the threshold of free delivery. So, you know, I get a bunch of caps, and then it doesn't matter if I only buy 4 or 5 of a particular component, or 10. I'll typically buy 10. Most components I'll buy at least 10. But you know, I don't need to buy like 100 of them, because I'm usually buying lots of other things that get me over that price threshold for the free delivery, because we like free delivery, don't we, precious? And one good thing with a board like this is all of the damage is kind of centered around one location, so you can generally do your testing just in that area, and that does make life a little bit easier. God, there's no flux on that whatsoever. No, there is. I could have cleaned those a little bit better. What do you reckon? Rudy's off. See you, Rudy. Thank you for dropping in. I do appreciate it. You'll have to come back and watch it so you can see the end. See whether it works when I test it. And Luke, where do you get samples from? As in, like, if I'm buying sample packs of things and stuff, I would typically get them from AliExpress. Right, we are looking pretty good here. So we've restored all of the, oh actually we've got one more component to put on there, and that is the real-time clock chip. So just excuse me while I go get one of those. Once I found out that these were available to buy as new old stock, I bought, I think all of them. Well, I certainly bought half of them, and I think Kai bought the other half. No. It's in one of these. Let's just pull these down and check them out. No, not in that one. Don't think there's anything I'm going to need in that one. So he can go back. Ooh. Shivers Regal. That there's for making SCSI to SDs, which we're not doing today. Can't really do that at all anymore because I can't get the components. This looks promising. Ouch. I just stabbed myself. That hurt. Right, what do we got here? Let's have a look-see. What's this look like? Does this look like a real-time clock chip? 3430042B, and it says Apple, which seems like a real-time clock chip to me. And then this is the other stuff I need. That's a precarious pile of things there. So what's that? That's a sound chip or something. These are these ones that I need for this. Oh, well, I'm running low on some of these. I'm gonna have to buy some more. Crikey. Okay, let's put some of these back so that this pile isn't quite as precarious as it is presently. Just check and make sure it is the right chip. Jeremy, hello. 0042. 3430002. 0042. Okay, so let's pop this little guy on. So we've got a real-time clock chip. Here we go. Not going to worry about the diodes. Diodes are only part of the battery, sort of battery backup setup. Diode. I bent a pin. Don't tell anyone. Okay, that's looking good. That's our real-time clock in there, and then of course we need a crystal oscillator. And I think, if I remember right now, I had that already out already. Yeah, I did. Yes, sir, I did. Piece of wire cast away from the board. There we go. So this is where we need to put our crystal oscillator, just here. I'm going to need to make some room for the pins to go through. So let's get some wick. There we go. Always a good idea to keep these handy, and I'll tell you why. Is because these crystal oscillators are pretty much always located near the real-time clock, and the real-time clock is almost always located near the 7.6. What's that? That doesn't sound right, does it? Have I got the wrong ones? I know I have the right ones, but that sounds 7.6 sounds like a weird one. I mean, I've only ever bought one type, I think. This one has nothing written on it. Let's try the one that has nothing written on it. It'll make me feel better. Yeah, so the real-time clock and the oscillator are often near the battery, and of course, so when the battery dies, they're usually the first things to cop it. 32.768. Yeah, this has got nothing written on it, so I'm going to go with that one. Because I'm pretty sure I've only ever bought one sort of this oscillator. Okay. Just check and see how that looks from the other side. I mean, I could test it because I do have one of those things that tests the oscillation of things. What do you call those things? Oscilloscope. Great. Right, let's continue with putting components on the board. So as I mentioned before, I'm not concerned about these diodes. These are to do with the battery backup, so they are not going to impact on the starting of this computer. Same with the capacitors. They won't impact on the starting, but they will impact on the sound, and I want sound. I'm going to put, oh my goodness gracious, goodness me, look at this. We found some more broken traces. So let's repair these while we're down here. These look like pretty straightforward, easy ones. But they certainly need doing. We cannot ignore them. Don't like the look of this pad for this capacitor either, so I will probably time to stand. Glad we checked it. Good, we checked it? Yeah, good we checked it. Quite an extraordinary level of corrosion there, isn't it? Oh, there goes a pad. That one was in shit condition anyway, so that's all right. Look at how shiny that is. It's affecting the brightness of the camera so that everything else is going really dark. I know what everyone's saying. They're looking at this going, oh no, more trace repairs. I just want to see it started. We want to go home. I want to have some dinner. I want to crack open a Sam Adams. Now, can I feed a wire through there? Let's just see. Oh. Yep, that goes straight through. That's fantastic. We're good. Don't need to do anything there. That one, thankfully, won't be going to an inner layer. That won't be going to one of those little data paths inside. That one's almost definitely going onto the other side of the board, onto either ground or 5 volts or 12 volts or something. 12 volts more likely. Have a Foster's. Yuck. Yeah, no one drinks Foster's over here. It's disgusting. You always know someone's not from this country if they order a Foster's. You can't even get it in most pubs, to be honest. You probably get it in city pubs and stuff like that. But it's you won't, like my local, they don't have it there. Because no one drinks it. They probably have it in city pubs just for tourists and stuff like that. Right, we've got to do a little bit of work here. I'm going to have to put some UV mask on this as well because, well, look at it. Well, look at it. And I'm just wondering whether to do that. I'll do the trace repairs first because we're going to have to clean this up afterwards. These are a bit sucky, these trace repairs, because they're right next to each other, so that always makes it harder because you know, trying not to stuff up one trace repair when you're putting in the next one. Foster's is how Australia trolls the rest of the world. If you are in this country and you're looking for a full strength beer, like one with a bit of body and flavour, I'd recommend going with a Cooper's. For me, the main beer I drink is either a Cooper's or we've got one here called 150 Lashes. And I do like a 150 Lashes. And generally these days the people are just calling it Lashes. So you go in and all the Lashes, please. And if you're in this part of the world, in this Sydney part of the world, beer comes in 2 sizes, middies and schooners. If you're in Melbourne, they come in pots and pints. I think Adelaide as well does pots and pints. Not sure about Tassie. I think Queensland does schooners, I could be wrong. Because beer tastes are changing. I know this because I do quite a lot of work with hotels and hospitality and stuff as part of what I do in my job and my full-time job. And I know that because of basically drinking laws here, I mean, you can't drink and drive here. Things like the mid-strength beers are doing very well. Okay. Okay, well I think that one is joined. I'll give it a bit of a nudge. Yep, seems pretty good. So that's what, we'll move on to the next one. I tend to drink wine these days myself, actually. I'm not a big beer. I drink beer when I go to a pub. What's the volume of schooners and pots? So a schooner is, I think, about 375, something like that. I'm pretty sure something like that. And a MIDI, yeah, actually, look, to be honest, I'm not sure. And pots are smaller than a schooner but bigger than a MIDI from memory. So the smallest is a MIDI, then there's a pot, and then there's a schooner, and then there's a pint. So I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. And of course, it's one of the ways when you go to like if you go to Melbourne and you're a Sydney sider and you go in and ask for a schooner, it's like an immediate indication that you're not local. Same with ordering fast food like hamburgers and stuff. Apparently in Melbourne, I could be wrong about this, but apparently in Melbourne, when you order a hamburger, you kind of you get virtually nothing on it. It's like meat and lettuce or something like that. Anything you want on the burger, you need to ask for. Whereas over here in Sydney, if you ask for a burger, you will get a standard amount of things on it. You will get meat, you will get lettuce, you'll get tomato, you'll get sauce, you'll get beetroot. And that's just, that's just asking for a hamburger. Very tricky doing this. You can't see it because I haven't got it on camera. Very tricky doing this where I'm doing one next to the other one. But so far so good. I always get cheese on my burger, but that's not something you'll get on just a standard burger here. You have to ask for cheese. I always get my hamburger with bacon and cheese. I actually prefer not to have it with beetroot as well, so I generally ask them to hold the beetroot. Very un-Australian of me, because beetroot on hamburgers is a very Australian thing. And of course sesame seed buns as well. The bun's got to have sesame seeds on it. If you have a plain bun with no sesame seeds on it, it's just like, yuck, nup. Hamburger, got to have sesame seed bun. If you get one with the lot, if you ask for a hamburger with the lot out here, you definitely won't get pickles. Definitely won't get pickles on Australian hamburgers. For Australian burgers, if you ask for a burger with the lot, what you'll get is you'll get hamburger with meat, of course, a meat patty. You'll get lettuce, tomato, onion, beetroot, pineapple, egg, bacon. I think that's everything. Cheese. Did I say cheese? And cheese. So that's one with a lot. That's generally what you'll get. A koala burger. We do eat kangaroos, but we don't eat koalas. They are endangered, so yeah, you're not allowed to kill them. Do 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 do. There is something in this workshop, and I don't know what it is, that just makes a constant little noise in the background. I think it might be a power supply or something, because it's just always this very, very slight, subtle little whirring sound, a little humming sound. I've never eaten crocodile. Never eaten emu for that matter. I've eaten kangaroo, but that's about it from the Australian animals. This is work that I'm doing at the moment that I did not think I was going to have to do. I thought I'd fixed all the trace repairs, but I clearly haven't. And I think I've got one or two that I need to do up near the sound chip, but not many. So, how are the chickens? Let's see if we can see them. We were having some trouble with that camera, but we can try. I'll just update camera. Chook cam. There we go. So there's the chickens. Well, there's some pigeons. Don't see any chickens anyway. Oh, there's up in the top right hand corner. There's the blind one. There's a blind one walking up against the wall. Don't know where the others are. And 3 pigeons. Pigeons looking very confused. They're like, where's the food? All right. One more trace repair and then we are done here, and we can stick a what do you call that thing? Capacitor in place. Oh, actually, I'll probably need to UV mask it a little bit first. And I'll UV mask this a lot later on, but just a little bit before I put that capacitor on. Hello. Hello, chickens. Hello, chooks. more solder on my iron here. A little bit goes a long way when you're doing this sort of stuff, but just need to top it up every now and again. Well, that is a little bit of time that I really didn't have, but we all have to learn to cope with adversity in our own special ways. I have to be really careful around here because I don't want to stuff up these trace repairs. Right, so I just want to get a bit of UV mask on this exposed area before I put the cap down, because I don't want to accidentally create a short, so I don't want to create a long either. So let's just paint some of that on there. It's just up this end here, which is the important part. Just have to make sure that when I put the capacitor down, that the pad on this side doesn't touch this bit here. There we go. I'll paint the bejesus out of it later on, but for the moment this will do. Because we just want to see this thing get tested. That's all we want. It's not much to ask, is it? Is it? I've got people, anyone here kind of doing secondary tasks while watching me here? People, I know that Jay always likes to tidy his office while I'm doing my live streams. Anyone else doing any work, any other repairs or things like that while I'm doing this? Nail polish for nerds, yep. Just a reminder to everyone that the bloomin' chicken is not an Australian invention, and the Outback Steakhouse is not an Australian burger chain. Yes, we do have them here now. They were in the US before they were here, and then they had two that opened up here. We've got one quite close to us here. But the thing that I find most frustrating about it is they serve American food. Which is fine if you want American food, but you know, when I go in there and it's like, yeah, this is meant to be an Australian restaurant, and nothing in there is like Australian food. It's all just American food. Capacitors. Surface mount electrolytic. Ah, there. Nope, that's not what I want. I want surface mount tants. I want tantalums. They must be down here. Yep, here they are. Okay, let's pop a cap in its ass. Oh crap, which way around does it go? It goes positive to the left. There we go. I can say for certain that I have eaten at the Outback Steakhouse a couple of times. Well, actually several times, mainly because it's so close. We went through a little bit of a stage there. We were eating there fairly regularly, but yeah, and yeah, look, we do get locals going there because where it's situated in a kind of a residential area, the one near us anyway. And so, yeah, a lot of people who live nearby go to that restaurant. And as I say, you know, I mean, it's American food. So if people want to eat American food, they go to the Outback Steakhouse over here. And some people do want to eat American food because, you know, it's different to what we eat. Same as I go to a Chinese restaurant, or I go to a Vietnamese restaurant, or a Malaysian restaurant, or something like that. When I want to eat American food, I go to the Outback Steakhouse. Okay, I'm trying to create like a little bit of stability here by using a big thick wire. Oops. What I said before about this going to a trace on the bottom was an absolute lie. It does go to one of the inner layers. Having trouble melting the coating off this. There we go. Okie dokie 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 dokie. Right, we're going to have to test this one because this via is in such a poor state. I want to be sure that this capacitor is going to where it's meant to be going. So this is capacitor C1. So let's see if we can find C1 so we can find out where it's meant to be going. I can actually search this, so if I can't find it quickly, C44. C2, there's C2. Doesn't necessarily mean C1's close. So C2, so that's the icon I'm looking for. There's C4, C5, C3. Now I know what I'm actually looking for. I can scan a lot easier. That's all. Pull up some pull downs. No. C10. Oh, I can hear the sound of my wife making a cup of tea. If I don't find it this time around, I'm going to search. And I open this file up and search until I find it. And it is probably just going to one of the voltage rails, so it's probably the easiest thing for me to do is to just check it. So I will do that. I'll just check it against one of the voltage rails, because if I get a beep, then I don't have to look any further. So we'll go to, oopsie, top view. Go from here to, yeah, it's going to one of the voltage rails. So we're all fine. So that capacitor is on, and we've done those extra little trace repairs. We've got a capacitor that needs to go on here. Let's do that now. We're getting there, people. We're getting there. As I said, this is the exciting part. You know, the waiting with bated breath. Sorry. Five Guys, listener knows, guaranteed heart blockage before you. Five Guys is really expensive here. We've only got one or two Five Guys, but it's insanely expensive. For a burger joint, you're better off just going to Hungry Jack's, which is our version of Burger King. Am I taking a bit of a risk by putting this here without any mask? I feel like it's a level of laziness that I can't really justify. We have Taco Bell here. I have to be honest, I've never eaten at Taco Bell. My mother told me once that she had Taco Bell when she was in the States and said it was good, but the Taco Bell that she has tried out here was not so good. But yeah, can't say I've ever tried Taco Bell. We don't have Denny's. We're getting Wendy's. Apparently this year the first Wendy's is going to open up. God, does that look like it's broken to you? I'm at a really bad angle for this. I definitely think I should put a trace onto that, or repair onto it. I'm really struggling with the angle here. I might have to flip the board around or something. Let's try it like that. I definitely feel like there's a break there, so I'm going to join that up. But I'm going to put a little UV mask on this bit first, seeing as I cleaned it. It's one of the problems I have with this is that I'm ultimately finding problems as I go because, well, it has so many problems. So, you know. I love sandwiches. I did explain this in one of my live streams before, and I will mention it again. The term sandwich here in Australia means two slices of bread, flat sliced bread, with something in between it. It doesn't matter what you put in between it. That's the sandwich. And then if it's a long thin thing, like a Subway, we call that a roll. And if it's between burger buns, it's a burger. So it doesn't matter what filling you've got in there. It could be a tofu burger, a fish burger, a chicken burger, a mushroom burger. If it's between burger buns, it's called a burger. And unless it is has bacon and egg in it, and then it's a bacon and egg roll. If you've got bacon and egg between some sort of, sort of, whether it be bread or a roll or a bun or whatever, it's called a bacon and egg roll. That's just how it works out here. But sandwiches are definitely one of my favourite things. Easily, I mean, for me, it's my go-to. I have a sandwich for lunch most days because I just love sandwiches. Beyond or impossible meats. I'm not sure what that refers to. Are you referring to like meat substitutes, like sort of meats that aren't actually meat? I mean, there are certainly ones available out here. I can't say I've ever tried any. I'm not a huge meat eater, but I do generally have some protein in most meals. But when I say I'm not a huge meat eater, I'm not one of these people that sits down to like a massive steak or something like that. I virtually don't eat steak. And probably my main source of protein would be chicken. Having said that, I am going to be cooking some beef tonight. But I haven't done much research into the meat substitutes. Some of them are looking pretty good now. I've got no idea what they taste like because I haven't really tried them. Yeah, the American biscuit. So obviously that's the there is a shop here that does a fast food place here that does American chicken wings, and that place sells biscuits, and I have had those biscuits. But over here, we don't really have any equivalent of a biscuit. You don't really get biscuits here. The same sort of thing as an American biscuit. And so the word biscuit here is what we use to refer to what Americans call a cookie. And then if you're saying, okay, well, if you're calling a cookie a biscuit, what are you calling a biscuit? Well, as I said, we don't really have biscuits out here. You will only basically find biscuits in like American theme type restaurants. Right, I've put some solder on those traces that looked a bit ugly, and I think they might be okay. So let's just ping them and see if they are continuous. Yep. We have continuity on those, so that's all good. So that's all of those components in that little region there. We've got caps there. We've got a cap up here we need to replace. Oh, we've got some damaged traces. It's amazing how much damage has been done by these You know, this is all damage being caused by the corrosion of these capacitors. You know, down the bottom it's all battery damage. Sure, yeah, we know that's battery damage, but here this is capacitor corrosion, and it's bad on this board, I tell you. I'm going to take this component off so I can clean under it. It's terrible the way I keep getting people's hopes up, isn't it? And then I find something else. What's this? Australia average. What's that? What's that? Meat average is $24 a kilo. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's for prime cuts. I mean, I bought some steak the other day for $20 a kilo, something like that. But you do have to remember, of course, the wages are higher in Australia as well. So it's not a really fair comparison to sort of just say, oh, this is the amount that they are, because you need to compare them to average wages and stuff out here too. So this looks like a trace break here. I'm not sure if it is though. Let's ping it. Let's ping it. And easy enough to fix if it is busted, but no, it's not busted. So we'll just lather it in solder and flux and things. So as bad as all this stuff is looking, most of it's just cleaning up quite well. I think I might put a little bit of wire there. God, stick to it. Stick to it. I really should put a new one of these components on, because this one is corroded and it's not sticking particularly well. But, you know, at this stage, we have other problems to deal with. We can worry about that later. There we go. Nice little bodge job there. Neat, tidy. Seriously. Can't complain. Now I would normally put a bit of UV mask on that trace there. Because it's sitting right in the middle, I think we can get away with it. In the interest of trying to get this thing tested and making sure that people do actually stick around until we test it and not just give up hope and leave. It's a very, very noisy motorbike going past. Brum, 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 brum. Lamb is probably one of my most favoritist proteins. I love lamb, but it's expensive. I certainly don't need to worry about eggs in this household. All right, so there's a cap. You get a cap. You get a cap. We got 3 caps here that we need to do. What are these going to look like? Oh, geez, I just forgot about these ones. These can be chaotic. Oh no! Look at it. Oh, the humanity. I forgot. I keep making the mistake with this board of thinking that the problem is just near the batteries, because it's not. It's near all the capacitors as well. As bad as these looked, it looks like most of them are intact. We might only have like 1 or 2 trace repairs, if that. So that's a nice little bonus. I thought we were going to be in for like another hour's worth of work here, but we're looking pretty good. That corrosion really gets around, doesn't it? Maybe this was stored near the ocean. Maybe this was stored in the ocean. Probably should take this freaking connector off, eh? Not before testing. Right. How has the garages kind of worked? Does humidity and dust become an issue? Not to mention the critters. Yes, yes, and yes. Humidity is the main problem. I have ways of dealing with that here, namely putting things in containers or putting things in sealed boxes, that sort of thing. You just sort of buy those general storage boxes. They're very good. You'll put things in there, and they're very good at sort of stabilising humidity and whatnot. Right, so working our way along here. As I say, we're just getting solder on all the exposed copper, and then we get our solder wick and we scrape the crap out of it. Check power connector for corrosion. No, not yet. I mean, I can see corrosion in there, but you know, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. I honestly don't think I've found a single break in all this mess here. Quite extraordinary. Who knows? See if that's a break. Let's clean them up and then we'll just look for any gaps. More scrapies. I think this blade's going already. A lot of scraping. How am I doing for time? Worst comes to worst, I think I can go somewhere else. I just don't want to finish this before I power it up for the first time. You gotta grab another scalpel. When they start to get kind of, you know, I stop getting like a nice even scrape, I start getting little lines. It generally means the blade's not doing too well. I've been through a lot of blades with this one. When you scrape the solder mask off, are you applying any pressure as you go along? With the UV mask, sorry, with the wick, yes I am generally applying a little bit of pressure. It's a feel thing. I would suggest that if you're wanting to get a feel for it yourself, practice on boards that you don't care about, because if you use too much pressure you will lift pads off, especially if you're applying heat in one location for too long, because a lot of the stuff that's stuck onto the board is stuck on with an adhesive that kind of goes when it gets hot. So, you know, if you sit the soldering iron in one place for too long and then you slide, you can just slide a pad straight off. So, yeah. So this is the only one that kind of bothers me, and I think it's still continuous. So let's have a look. Yep, we're good. So let's just do another once over here with some flux and some solder mask, and then we will we'll get some caps on here. I'll probably have to put some UV mask on too. I just want to make sure I get these pads to a point where I can stick a capacitor on them. There's a little black dot there. Is that a break? I'll have to check that. That might be a break. Everywhere I look is chaos. I have been missing a lot of the chat, and for that I apologise. See you, Oz Retro Comp. Thanks for joining. Yep, that is a break there. Oh, there's a noisy cricket. So let's just give a little repair down on that tiny little break. It's the smallest break, but it's a break nonetheless. Righty there. Okay, put some flux on there, and we'll get a bit more solder on the iron. Right beside the via below the cap pads. I'll check that out. We go. Okay, let's check that little black dot. Where are we looking? Just a second. Okay. I'm not sure which black dot you're referring to. These do all look like they're still continuous, so I'm feeling like I'm probably good to go with a little bit of UV mask and then putting some caps on. Third via down in the line from the cap pads. 1, 2, 3. It looks okay to me. Okay. Right. Oh, I've got to do this as well. Get that empty so I can put a cap on here. Looking better now that you hit it with your scalpel. Yeah, cool. There was also a fair bit of gunk on there as well, so I think it might have been a little bit of gunk floating around. Right. So. It's still not good, is it? Oh dear. So, let's get a little bit of UV mask on here. It definitely, is anyone else getting the sense that I'm kind of rushing things at the moment? I'm certainly getting that sense. Let's check and see if that's a break, because that could be a break there. Yep, that's a break. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Good. Not good. Oh, actually, hang on. Yep. That's good. So this one here is a break there. So I'll have to come back and do that. Bet you a lot of this UV mask is going to end up having to come off. Because I'm probably going to have to go back and explore this section here. Okay, that's at least enough so that I can put the caps on. The more UV mask on there, the more drying it is. Slow down, chill, plenty of time. That's in parts 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, the problem I have at the moment is I am obsessing with this a little bit. And so I'm kind of just, I want to see what happens. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work, but I at least want to see, you know. I want to connect it up, see if I get a sad Mac chime or whatever the case may be. See if I get Seamus CMAC and nothing. That's the spot. There we go. Okay, that was the one. And you were right. All right, let's just get a little bit of, we only need the tiniest bit of wire because it is the smallest little braid. And I might even be able to do it just with a big glob of solder, we'll see. Just for that one there. No, the more I do it, the worse it gets. See, Jay ultimately wants me to make this last so he has more live streams to watch. But I have this whole situation that I won't be able to just keep live streaming day after day on this. So I at least feel like I just want to give people a little bit of closure by getting this to a point where we see what happens when we give it some power. And based on what we have seen here, it's almost certain that there are busted traces on this board that I have not yet found. So that's the kind of reality of the situation. Here we got magic smoke, yes. Right, so we can put some caps on here now. 347 microfarad capacitors. Excuse me. All the positives across to the right. Is this going to be Bruce's 840 AV? I sure as hell hope not. It's funny, isn't it? When I first got this board, I made the decision, a locked-in decision, that I was not going to try and repair it. I locked that in. Yep. No, too messy, too much to do, too much repairing, not even going to bother. That is the decision I made. And then at some stage, while I was away from the board, my brain decided that the damage wasn't actually that bad. And then I would be able to repair it, much the same that I did with Javier's board. That's the decision I made. And then I came back out to look at it, and I went, oh crap, that's really bad. But then I pursued it anyway. I went and did the repair. Or started the repair. I haven't done it yet. I'm doing it. And so it's kind of been a weird situation, weird stuff. Because as I say, while I was away from the board, when I sort of started actually imagining that the damage wasn't that bad. Came back and had a look and went, oh, good grief, Charlie Brown. All right. Now, this is the last of the nasty zones, and that's all around here. So Yeah, yeah. It's the last of the bad bits. So we're just gonna get the old iso alcohol on here. We'll do some scrapey. I'm pretty sure there is a busted trace here that might need some attention. Paul, I have no idea. But I do know that this computer will work without those caps in place. So they are not, the computer will work. The sound won't work if you don't have these caps in place, because these are all part of the sound circuit. But the computer will start up without those caps in place. If we do actually get this to work, big if there, I think it's highly unlikely that we will get sound, just based on what I'm seeing here. And we probably won't get serial ports based on what I'm seeing here. These are all these U8 chips. I do have replacements for all of these, so I can just plonk them on. Whoops. Need to be more careful, don't I? Damaging my trace repairs from earlier. Yep. Right, we've got a few ugly looking ones here. We've definitely got a trace break there. Let's get some solder down and just see how we're looking and whether this is something that we really can realistically say, oh yes, we're going to fire this up today. This is a 6-layer board. It is indeed a 6-layer board. Per hour labour cost on this would probably exceed the cost of a new one, but there ain't no new ones. Yes, there is. I would not. If a customer brought this to me and said, "I want you to repair this board," I would say no. I would say it's not worth the investment. I'm going to have to charge you too much money. I am doing this for myself. There are two things with this. Number one, obviously, I quite enjoy doing this. It's kind of fun for me. The other is, of course, that it's content for my YouTube channel, and that is something that needs to be factored in, because I'm a famous YouTuber with a bazillion subscribers. 2 o'clock, wow. I really do think I'm going to have to stop this soon. I did mention before that I had these time commitments today, these time restrictions, and we're coming up on it. I reckon about 2:30 is about the latest I can stream till. So, looking up at that clock up on the top there, that's 26 minutes. So I hope everyone has their what do you call it? They're all prepared. Everyone's prepared, emotionally prepared for the possibility of this live stream might finish before I get to test it. And if you want to blame anyone, blame this stupid board. Blame the person who stored this in a boat shed. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Now let's clean it up and see what we will see. Our little cricket friend is back, is it? Okay, so we have got a few very sus looking God, 3.5 hours. Far out. Yeah, I'm going to have to stop. I am going to have to stop. There's no way I can get all this done and these components on and everything in the time frame that I have. So, isn't that a bummer? There's just going to have to be a part 4. See for part 4. I can't see any other way around it, and it bothers me because I have now invested so many hours in this, and I really thought I was going to get to test it today. But the problem I encountered, which I just didn't factor in, was finding problems at every single location of a capacitor, of an electrolytic capacitor. I was expecting that I would get all of that battery damage sorted out, and then it would be just a little bit of cleaning up here and there. I didn't realize that I was going to have trace repairs at every turn. You know, what have we got here? We've got That one's almost definitely gone. There's 1, 2, that's possibly 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 trace repairs there, almost certainly 6, and possibly some more as I continue looking. Then I've got the UV mask to put on, and then I've got these caps, and then I've got these guys down here. And it's very common for you to get breaks in these as well. So that could be a break there on that one. So I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, even if I just work like the wind, I've still got probably another 45 minutes to an hour's worth of work. And I don't have 45 minutes or an hour's worth, I'm afraid. So, yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. I feel bad. I feel bad for you guys. I really do. Ah, dear. Yeah. So look, where I'm at this stage, where I'm thinking it'll probably end up being a 5-parter. And I'll tell you why I think that. It's because I think that there will be one more part of me repairing it in readiness for testing. I think there's one part of that. And then when we go to test it, there's about a 97% chance it's not going to work. So then we've got to go in and do some diagnostics. And that's what I consider is going to be the part 5. Part 5 is going to be finding the things that we haven't found so far. That's my general thinking. So I might just do a couple of quick little trace repairs before calling it a day. So let's just beep these out. And then I'll wrap it up and I'll do my go out and do my shopping. Buy all the yummy ingredients for the yummy dinner I'm making tonight. That's good. What about this one? He is not happy. So we've got to do a repair there. Excuse me. Jay told me yesterday that he was watching Scream 6. I didn't even know they'd made a 3, 4, and 5. I remember they made a Scream 2. Yeah. I mean, this computer has a combination of problems. It's number one is that it obviously had capacitor leakage, and that's been accentuated by, I'd say, possibly where it has been stored. Because I think this has probably been stored outdoors in a garage, in a shed, something like that. There we go. So we can ping that now. There to there. Good. What about this one? Well, that one was good, wasn't it? Yeah. And I was pointing them all out before. Now I can't find any of them. Got a break there. I'm basically going to find with this one that my trace repairs are going to get less and less good the longer I'm working on it. Oh, what do you know? Go, 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 go. Flux, I need some flux, please, please. I'm just grabbing this one because it's the nearest. This one's awful. Can't even get it out of the friggin' tube. Here's the V3, which I had a little bit of involvement in the final formula. Not much, but a little bit. Enough for me to have like a little bit of a claim to fame. That was someone singing the Lumberjack song. Wednesdays I go shopping and I've buttered scones for tea. He's a lumberjack and he's okay. Sleeps all night and he works all day. He cuts down trees, he skips and jumps. He likes to press wildflowers. He puts on women's clothing and hangs around in bars. Oh yes, I'm a Monty Python fan. Yeah, there's this one here. So this one I'll probably run it from here. That's a lot of flux. Yeah, I used to know the Philosopher's Song word for word. I used to be able to sing the whole thing. Me and a friend, well, when I was in hospital many years ago from a motorbike accident, I spent a lot of time. I had a lot of time on my hands in hospital. I was in hospital for about 2 months, and there was a guy who had a very similar injury to me and who was of a similar age, and so we sort of we became friends while we were in hospital, spending the same 2 months. He got it out a few days before I did, because he got his surgery a little bit earlier than I did, because they weren't sure whether they were going to operate on me, but then they decided that operation would be a good idea. So I got the surgery, whereas he got the surgery straight away. So he got let out a little bit earlier than me. But while we were in there, we used to sing Monty Python songs, and we learned the Philosopher's Song. It was like, oh God, I don't know I'd be able to remember it at all. If I got started on it, I'd probably be able to remember a lot of it. Immanuel Kant was a real pissant who was very rarely stable. Oh, geez, I can't remember. No, I used to know it. Idegger was a boozy beggar. He could think you under the table. David Hume could out consume. Oh God, no. Nope. I can't even remember. That was 1992, so in my defence, there is a good reason why I have forgotten. They're all still connected. Huh. Oh, it's for sure that those ones are busted, but they're not. They're not. Right, well, I think that's it. I think I'm going to call it a day. And the reason why I say that is because the next step... Oh, actually, hang on. I'll just cut this. The next step I will have will be to get all these components on. And methinks that is a job for fresh. I mean, I think I've actually... I think I have done all the trace repairs here. I mean, I went and pointed out a whole bunch, but like 6 of them, and I've only done 3. So... This is so hard for me, because you know what's going to happen. I've got this commitment today. I've got to go out and do this shopping, right? When I get back, I am just going to want to get back onto this because of my current obsession with it. And then people are going to be upset with me because what if I go in and I do that and I'm not actually live streaming? See, and looking forward to the best part, yeah. What happens if I end up doing it later today and everyone's gone to sleep and I'll just be doing a test here and I'll be live streaming it to like 3 people, and only those 3 people will get to see it, see what happens. That would just be a dirty trick, wouldn't it? And don't you dare. Don't you dare. Yeah, the Aussies will be fine. The Aussies will probably be able to see it if I stream again today. But to be honest, I may also have some conflict with my wife because she may well want me to help her with some stuff because it's the weekend and weekends when we get chores done. And she may well want some assistance with some chores, but... and all that and things and such. Okay. Well, I think that's all I'm going to do. But look, you know, this area is not looking as bad as I thought it was right when I first started mucking around with it. I sort of feel like, we plonk a few components on here. So sound chip goes there, 4 capacitors here, 1 capacitor there, 3 little things. We've got an F393, an LS166, and an F253 that need to go on there. And then a couple of axial capacitors and we're good to go. We're ready and raring. I can't wait to give this an ultrasonic clean. Okay, just me, just me. There's the just me view. Oh, geez, a split lip out. Are you taking tomorrow off public holiday? No, I don't think tomorrow is a public holiday. Is tomorrow a public holiday? Certainly not here. I don't think so. Had Anzac Day last week. I'll be working, so I'm up for another 8 hours. Yeah. Oh, Queensland. Okay. Yep. No public holiday here, so it's work as usual. So, okay, I'm going to wrap it up now. I want to say thank you to everyone who joined. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for sticking around. Boy, I mean, I'm just having a look here at the views. I mean, we peaked out at about 47 by the looks of it, which is pretty darn amazing when you consider what it is. Don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't already, please. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for the super chats. Thanks for keeping me company. Thanks for doing all the awesome work in the chat there, keeping it lively, keeping it happening. Always appreciate that. Thank you for watching. It is awesome. So there is going to be a part 4 as to whenever that happens. And in that part 4, I can fairly safely say now, looking at this, part 4 is going to involve me testing it because there's not much more left to do on it. You know, as I say, there's maybe an hour's worth of work and then I'm ready for testing. So thanks again, people. I do appreciate your time. I do appreciate you hanging out here with me and keeping me company. So hopefully see you at the next one. Bye-bye.